Welcome to the Hybrid Lab. My name is Jay, and this is the formula where I break down the formula for scaling to multiple 6 and 7 figures as a coach, consultant, or educator. Today, we're talking about how to get more clients to say yes to your offer, your program, your one-on-one coaching, whatever it is you sell with your expertise, so that you don't feel like you have to convince people and constantly handle objections just to get people to buy. Now, to date, I've made over $2.47 million selling my own expertise to businesses, to one-on-one clients, and on multiple different offers. And I've also helped multiple clients scale to 6 and 7 figures using the framework that I'm about to teach you right now. The reason I've been able to sell offers between $6,000 to even $90,000 to clients is because I understand this method. It's called the 4 yeses. Now, before a client says yes to working with you, there are 4 things that they need to say yes to internally before they'll actually be ready and willing to make that shift into working with you. If you're missing one of these, it becomes more and more or increasingly difficult to get someone to say yes. And then you start to feel like you're convincing, or you have to handle a ton of objections. And the goal is to get you to a place where, you're barely getting any objections on your calls, and that call just becomes an enrollment call to see if you guys are a good fit. It's not about whether or not they want to join the program, it's are they a good fit for you? And so if you want to get your business to that type of position, it's not about how many views you get on your content or anything else, it's about how well you do these 4 things in your content. Now, before we get started, if you're someone that really wants to scale your business, I have a free gift for you. It is a 5-day email course that I send straight to your inbox. It takes about 3 minutes to read, and it breaks down step by step exactly how I was able to scale my business to 7 figures. If you want it, the link is going to be in the description. Let's get into the value. So the first yes that a prospect needs to say yes to is you as the coach. And in order to do that, you need to create content that I call frequency content. And this is going to be 35% of the content that you create and post on social media. Now, in order to create frequency content, we have to define what it actually is and why this gets someone to say yes to you specifically. Now, you have experience and you have struggles and failures that you've experienced on the journey to getting to where you are right now as an expert. And frequency content is the thing that shows more relatability behind who you are as an actual human being. Like all the intangible shit that is you, the person, which could be your hobbies and interests. This could be the fact that maybe you're a family man, or maybe you're a woman that loves purses. I don't know, doesn't really matter. But the point is, whatever your hobbies and interests are, whatever your struggles and failures were along your journey, and whatever actual expertise you have and how you gained and learned that expertise, these are the things that you need to be sharing within your content. And it doesn't mean just constantly talking about yourself. There's a format and a way to actually do this that is going to attract the type of people that you want in your world. But frequency content is the thing that gets people to say yes to you specifically. When I ask clients why they chose me specifically, it's always because of a story that I shared. It's because of a common interest that we have. It's because they see themselves in me. And so if I want to produce that type of outcome, I need to be sharing my values in the form of stories so that people can understand who I am as a person and whether or not they vibe and resonate with me in the way that I do things, and whether or not they think that I'm a person that can be trusted. Because really that's what it is. Are you authentic? And the only way to do that is to be showing more of you, yourself, the person behind the camera. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, the second thing that a prospect needs to say yes to in order to work with you is your unique mechanism. And the way that you get someone to say yes to your unique mechanism is, first of all, just sharing what the mechanism is, obviously. But secondly, it's discrediting all other mechanisms or all other options that your prospect has to choose from. So I'll give you an example from my own business, right? In your program, you're gonna have 3, maybe 4 core, like high-level topics that you help your clients with. For me, that looks like sales, delivery, operations, and marketing, content marketing, right? And so I'm gonna break down my 4 unique mechanisms, and I have that built into a model that I share with my audience. And the way that I share it is not just, here's how I do this, 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 and this. It's discrediting all the other options that they have to choose from and why those fucking suck, and why this is the best opportunity or the best way to approach the thing that they want. And if they vibe with me and my values, right? Because I'm all about freedom. I'm all about building a simple, scalable business that's highly profitable for the actual coach or consultant behind the business. Then they'll see that, okay, well, if I share these values and these viewpoints with you, then there's gonna be some things that I sacrifice in order to keep that freedom. In order to make sure that my business is extremely profitable, I'm not gonna hire a massive sales team because they're gonna eat my profits away. I'm not gonna hire a massive team in general because now I have to manage that team, right? And so my values trace into every single one of my mechanisms and my ways of doing things, because it's all in the service of freedom to myself, for my business, and to help my clients succeed and be as profitable as possible. So if you want people to trust your mechanism, you have to give them a reason why the other options that they have are not the best option for someone like you and someone like them. And if they resonate with you and your values, then it's all in alignment. And that is extremely important. People care about getting to the end result, yes, but they also care more about how they get there. For me, I don't want to scale a massive business with thousands of clients. I don't want that. But I do want a business that makes me 7 figures, but it also gives me the lifestyle that I want. I don't want to sacrifice my lifestyle, because that's the whole reason why I chose this specific business. All right. In order to get someone to trust in your mechanism, you need to break their current beliefs and actions by meeting them where they're at. So what does this mean? I have to understand and know my audience deeply enough to know exactly what they're doing, why it's not working, and why my method would work for them. And so your customers are doing something wrong that is preventing them from getting a result that they want. And every time they join your program, you have to then remove all the clutter and shit that's already in their mind that they think is the right way to do it. You have to break and shift those beliefs and tell them, no, this is the way that you should do it. And so what is your target audience thinking and believing that's wrong that you are already shifting as soon as they join your program, and start pulling that into your content instead? So for example, for me, I know that a lot of people, when they look at my content, they're like, well, you're not getting a ton of views, so how are you gonna help me grow my audience, or how are you gonna help me get more clients, or whatever, right? And so the point that I make to them is, I have videos on YouTube that have 100 views, that have 300 views, that have 30 views even, that have gotten me clients, that have people reaching out to me in my inbox on videos with literally 30 views. Why? Because my messaging is good, because I understand the structure of how to shift beliefs, because I understand how to create a magnetic pull in my direction and get people to want to join my program without having to force or convince them and handle a ton of objections, right? And so that's why messaging is so powerful, and that's why this is so fucking important. This is gonna be 35% of your content, all right? And this is what I call insight content, all right? Now, yes, number 3, what is the third thing that people need to say yes to in order to buy from you? They need to say yes to your offer. In order for them to say yes to your offer, first of all, they actually have to get to the place where they talk to you and see the offer. So these 2 mechanisms have to be working well enough to get them to number 3, and these go in order of stages, right? But your offer has to actually be attractive to them. Does it actually, like, every time you get on a sales call with someone, what do they think their problems are? What are the reasons why they think they can't get to where they want to go? Those are the things that should be in your offer. We help you do XYZ, insert thing that they think that they can't get to because of this problem. Like, it's so specific, and you have to extract their exact language that you're getting from your clients on your calls or whatever when you're talking to clients as to the reason they think they can't get to where they want to go, and then tie the outcome to it. That literally becomes your copy and your messaging within your offer. That's the first thing. But the second thing is, within your content, it's showing enough client results where the client came in with the exact situation that people are complaining to you about, and then they came out getting the outcome. The second thing is showing your own results in your content. So my clients would say, I'm getting people on a sales call, but they're just not saying yes, or they're walking away constantly saying, I need to think about it. All right, so my offer is going to be getting people to say yes without convincing. This is the same thing that I'm going to say within my content as well. I used to struggle having to convince people to say yes when I would pitch them my offer. Now my content does the selling for me, and this is how I do it. And so really just displaying your results tied directly to the pain points that your prospect has at a deeper level, not the surface level stuff like I'm not getting enough sales, but what's underneath that is, it's painful that people keep saying I need to think about it. It's painful when people ghost me after we had a great conversation on a phone call and they said they needed to talk to their partner and then they ghosted me. I feel like people just don't want my shit. I feel like people just don't want what I'm selling. No, you just don't know how to position it in a way that they can see the value in it clearly without you having to convince them. And so that's what these frameworks are going to help you do. This is about 10% of your content, and this is primarily going to be in your Instagram stories. You can put this in content as well, but I primarily just put this in my stories, and I also put it in YouTube content as well, just because I'm building a deeper relationship with you here on the camera versus a 60-second video where I can only say a couple things. And then number 4, What is the last thing that people need to say yes to in order to buy? This is one that goes missed by a lot of people. And so I mention it because it's extremely important, if not the most important thing. And it is themselves. People need to say yes to themselves. They need self-belief in order to buy from you. And so if they believe in you, they believe in your mechanism, they believe in your offer, but if they don't believe that they can actually do it, none of that shit matters. And a lot of sales calls, a lot of time goes into talking to prospects who are completely interested. They totally believe in you, but you haven't uprooted the belief or the issue that is preventing them from joining your program. And it's because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe that they can do it. And that is the one that I think most people miss when they're talking to clients or prospects, is they don't understand that the person just doesn't believe they can do it. Because why? They've failed so many times before. They've hired other coaches. They've failed themselves over and over and over again, to the point where they believe either they're incapable or there is no way in which they can get to the goal. It works for other people, but it just won't work for me. Because when they've tried so many times, it reinforces the same belief loop within their mind. And so it is your job as the person who wants to get people to say yes to your program to shift that belief of self. How can we make sure that they feel like they're capable? Brain content, this is what I call this, and this is what it means. Some of the easiest ways to do this, and there's a lot of different ways, more than just what I've listed right here, but similar case studies. So for example, if you are, I don't know, a fitness coach, fitness is always the easiest example I can give, and someone has tried to lose weight so many times, they're trying to lose 50 pounds or whatever, and they've just yo-yo dieted and they've lost some weight, gained it, lost some weight, gained it multiple times. That's reinforcing a self-belief of this is impossible for me. And so if I can show a case study and say those exact same words reflected back to my customer, to my audience, that says, Chanel, she tried to lose weight and she had been trying for 7 years. She kept yo-yo dieting, she kept losing weight, gaining weight, up and down, up and down, up and down. And it wasn't until we implemented this, and this that she was finally able to get results. Now she's lost 50 pounds and she's kept it off for the past 2 years because this method worked for her when nothing else did. See the difference in how that reflects to exactly what their internal beliefs are. We have to get that deep with our messaging. All right. Number 2, personal stories that break limiting beliefs about themselves. Same thing, but reflected in your own journey. So you can share your stories of how you struggled that reflect that same exact story within your content, that it's going to show people, okay, maybe it is possible for me. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I just haven't found the right approach. And you talk about how you tried every single approach, then it clicks for them, so that you can break and shift those limiting beliefs before they ever get to a buying decision, before they ever even talk to you. So that by the time they get on the call, most people are handling objections when they get on a call with someone. You're handling them in your content, and that's why people say yes without having any objections at all. I have clients that literally have a 90 to 100% close rate because of this framework, all right? And then the third one is tactical small wins towards the goal that get them moving. This is your general, like, tactical educational content. Here's how to do this one thing step by step by step. This is the only point in which I would recommend creating how-to content. But this is the tactical stuff, like the point A to point B transformation inside of your content, just very small wins. So for my business, that might be something like I teach my clients how to run paid ads in a very simplistic way, but a lot of them have never run ads before. So because they're inexperienced, they're afraid. They're like, I might lose money, whatever. And so I might create a lead magnet that shows them how to create their first paid ad and put like $50 towards it, just to see what type of response they get to their messaging, right? And so that little tiny win, I got you from not believing in ads, not believing that ads would work and being afraid to run paid ads, to actually launching your first ad and throwing $50 at it and seeing that, oh, I got a result because they followed my process. They got the result that they wanted. Now they're already moving. They're moving in the right direction. And I've shifted that belief from I don't know how to run ads, or I can't run ads, or ads are complicated, to, oh, I can run ads. That's easy. That's simple. Now you believe in my mechanism because you've done it for yourself already and you've gotten a result from it. And so doing those simple things in this type of content is what creates self-belief in your prospects. And this is what I call brain content. This is going to be 20% of your content strategy. And now that we've broken down the 4 yeses, let's talk about how to actually build this out within your content in terms of how many pieces of content are you going to post per week? What does this actually look like tangibly? So let me section this out. All right, so frequency content, which appears to get them to believe in you, is going to be 35%. And if you're posting, ooh, that's ugly. If you're posting 5 pieces of content per week, I post 5 to 6 typically every week. This is gonna look like 2 pieces of content for frequency. Insight content, which is shifting beliefs, removing limiting beliefs, and getting them to believe in your unique mechanism, this is also going to be 35% of your content. So again, if you're posting 5-6 times a week, that becomes another 2 pieces of content. Now, receipts content, your offer, that is going to be 10% of your content, which comes down to typically 1 post. But keep in mind that receipts are so flexible that they can filter through every single piece of content you post, honestly. So keep that in mind. Like, I use receipts in a lot of my other content, just depending on what the type of content is and what I'm saying in it. So for example, if I was talking about my unique mechanism and I said, this is the thing that has helped me scale my business to multiple 6 and 7 figures, then I'm using receipts in this, but I'm talking about the mechanism, but my receipt is the proof that the mechanism actually works. So it filters through. Same thing in frequency content. For example, if I'm talking about where I started to where I am now, then I'm going to be giving receipts of like what my past experience is, how much money I've made, or how much money I've made my clients, or whatever what my life looks like now versus what it used to look like back when I was working in the corporate world and I hated my fucking life. All of these are still receipts. It's just filtered through a different lens. And so keep that in mind. When I say 10%, it's that this is so low because it gets filtered through all these other avenues. And then the last one, 20%, belief in themselves, is brain content. And this is just going to be 1 post per week. All right. Now I'm going to post. Now, if you want to actually know how to implement this in your content, how to build a system around creating content consistently every single week without having to put so much time and energy into your content, because that's usually the objection that people have is, I don't have enough time, it's too hard, blah, blah, blah. It's just because you don't have a system, you don't have a strategy. I typically spend 4 to 5 hours a week scripting my content, building out like some of the graphical stuff that I have to do, and then a couple hours filming every week, depending on what it is that I'm doing. And so if you want to learn how to build a system to make you more consistent, to attract clients and leads every single day, every single month that say yes without objections, then watch this next video here if it's up, and I will see you in the next one.